Hi, I'm Jackie Salcedo. I'm the graduate coordinator for the Center for Women's and Gender Studies, and I'm here to talk about the MA degree requirements. We have a master's degree that can be completed in 2 years. We also have 2 dual degree programs, one with the School of Information Studies and one with the School of Public Affairs that can be completed in 3 years. So you come out with an MA and an MSIS in Information Studies or a MA and an MPath in Public Affairs. So those are really great options. We can talk about those a little bit more. I'll show you how to find more information on our website. First, a little bit about the semesters and the schedules at UT. So the main terms are fall and spring. We don't expect students to take classes during the summer unless you are in a dual degree. If you're in a dual degree program, you might have to take 6 hours or more during the summer. You'll have a couple different summers in between, and you should talk to your grad coordinator from the iSchool or the LBJ school to find out when's the best time to do it. But if you're just an MA student, you only need to take classes during the fall, during the spring, and class load is 3 classes equals full-time. Usually the classes are 3 hours. So a 9-hour course load is considered full-time at UT Austin. During the first semester in Women's and Gender Studies in the MA, you only get 1 class that's an elective. The other 2 are required. So Feminist Theories and Writing Workshop are the 2 classes that you'll be taking in the fall. The third class you get to pick. For these electives, you'll be wanting to choose courses that are relevant to your research interests, because the master's degree in Women's and Gender Studies is capstoned by either a thesis or a report. Now, the thesis is a 2-semester writing project that involves original research. The report can be original, but it is a 1-semester writing project. It can be a little bit more creative, but we will talk more about all of that. You'll actually be taking a class in the spring called Research Methods, where you will talk about your projects and how they differ and how to organize them and brainstorming and sort of getting ideas and research methodology and all of that stuff. So I'm not going to get into the thesis and the report right now. And that should be something that you should think more about in the spring semester. So let's talk about the classes. I'm going to pull up a degree planner and show you where to find that. So this is our webpage. And if you go under menu and look at graduate studies, you will find all kinds of things, including our master's degree requirements. Our handbook is archived here. This one is from 2021. We'll be updating it soon, but you can find the PDFs with the dual degree requirements on here as well as the MA. But I've also put these into the Google Docs for orientation, so you'll be able to look at those. So here is the fall semester with the thesis option. So both the thesis and the report will require a faculty member to be your supervisor. You would also need a second faculty member to be your second reader. So your thesis supervisor is your first reader, and your second reader is the other person on your committee. And this is sort of up to you based on your research interests, the topics. You would want to choose electives that align with that. Choose electives with faculty that you are interested in working with, because you might be able to approach them later about being your thesis supervisor. So this is the fall semester, writing workshop, feminist theories. You have the elective. So that's 3 hours, 3 classes, 9 hours each. Spring semester, you'll be taking the research methods class, which I mentioned before. This is where you'll be talking a lot about which project to do, how you're going to do it, who you want to work with, all those things. and this will happen during the spring semester. You get 2 electives during the spring semester. Registration for spring will happen in October, and Dr. Kafer and I will do advising appointments and talk to you about different classes you could take for these electives that would work with whatever ideas you might have for a thesis project or a report. Another thing, at least 4 of the elective courses have to be either WGS, related to women's and gender studies, or approved by the WGS graduate advisor. That's Dr. Allison Kafer. All students must also present their work at least once during the annual emergency during the annual emergency. Yeah, it is an emergency. If you need to present, you know, and it's your last year and you haven't done it, it would be an emergency. But it's called the Annual Emerging Scholarship in Women's and Gender Studies Graduate Student Conference. And it's usually held in March or April. You can find more about that on our webpage under graduate studies. There's information on the annual conference. They even created a web page. There's videos on our YouTube channel. So yeah, you can see all the presentations that have been part of the program before. Okay. And then, yes, so just make sure your electives have, you know, deal with women and gender studies or your research topics, and then be sure you present in the conference at least once during either your first year or your second year. And the conference is run by your fellow graduate students. So it should be a casual, wonderful academic exercise, good practice for, you know, bigger conferences down the line. Okay, so third semester is the fall semester. If you're doing the thesis option, you take thesis part A during the fall semester of your second year, and then you get 2 elective classes, and that's 9 hours. And then spring semester, your fourth semester, you take thesis part B, and then 2 other electives. If for some reason you have to take the thesis class again, you haven't finished, you have to work over the summer to finish your thesis, you would enroll in the summer class and you would take this thesis class again. You have to be enrolled in this thesis class during the last semester that you are graduating. So that's kind of it. There are 9 hours of required core courses, and then there's all this flexibility. You could cobble together a minor with 2 classes, mostly elective hours, and then 6 hours comes from this thesis project. If you were to do the report option, it would be very similar, except instead of this thesis part A, you would just take another elective, and then your 4th semester, there's the report class instead of thesis B. All right. Well, I hope that was, you know, helpful. Oh, let me also show you, I guess, if we're thinking about registration. So, as I mentioned before, registration for spring occurs usually in October. So this is the course schedule for fall. You can see all the different classes, and you do need the 5-digit unique number in order to register for the class. If you type in WGS 393, you know, it's not going to do anything because we have so many different ones, but you do need the unique number of the 5-digit unique number of the course to use for registration. And then the other thing I was going to say is, I totally forgot. Oh, well, it'll come to me. Yeah, so I hope this is helpful. Oh yeah, so then, yeah, during registration for spring, that will happen in October, and then registration for fall will happen in April or March, April. Before those registration periods, Dr. Kafer and I will get together with you to do advising and all those things. So I hope that was helpful. You can find this in the Google Docs for orientation. And for the dual degree programs, I also have these degree planners. I'm working on them. Check with your graduate coordinator of either the School of Information Studies or the School of Public Affairs on which classes they recommend for your first and second semester. And I guess that's it. All right, thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.